In today's lesson, you are going to go and look at how the structure of the leaf goes and helps carry out photosynthesis. So, a few bits that you should already know, right? So you know that the leaf has a large surface area, so it absorbs lots of sunlight. It's got chloroplasts, so they're the little green bits, the little green organelles that carry out the photosynthesis. On its underside, it's got lots of stomata. This allows for gas exchange, so carbon dioxide to get in, oxygen to get out, and for transpiration. It's got a good network of veins, which are made up of xylem and phloem cells, which help transport water up to the leaf and the glucose and products of photosynthesis away from it. And finally, because leaves are generally very thin, there's a very, very short diffusion distance, so the gases don't have very far to move in order to get where they need to go. So, in terms of the structure of our leaf then, so the leaf is made up almost of different layers. And you can almost think of it going from top to bottom. So, it's upper epithelial layer. It's called Waxy Cuticle, so it's waterproof. It's nice and thin so that sunlight can get through. The Palisade Layer is full of chloroplasts, and it's the chloroplasts that go and carry out the photosynthesis. Underneath that, we've got the Spongy Mesophyll layer. The Spongy Mesophyll layer is made up of Spongy Mesophyll cells, which are rounded, which create these large air spaces so gas can diffuse in through the stomata and back out through the stomata. There's a good network of xylem to carry water up to the leaf and phloem to carry the glucose away from the leaf. So in terms of how we need to think about it, if we were going and answering some sort of question looking about how the leaf is adapted to carry out photosynthesis. So really the first thing that we think about is that light is entering through the upper part of the leaf because it's nice and thin. The part of the light that is being absorbed is in the red end of the spectrum. The second part is that in the Palisade layer we've got lots and lots of chloroplasts. The chloroplasts are going to go and absorb the light energy and carry out the photosynthesis. We've got water entering up through the roots all the way up to the leaf through the xylem cells. Remember, water is required for photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide can diffuse down a concentration gradient into the leaf, through the stomata, through these large air spaces, and then diffuse all the way up to the palisade cells where the carbon dioxide will be used for photosynthesis. Oxygen made in photosynthesis can also go and diffuse out of the palisade cells into the large airspace, then back out of the leaf. So, just to reiterate, photosynthesis is happening within those palisade cells. It's really important. Like we said, the oxygen that's made diffuses back out, and finally the glucose made in photosynthesis is carried away by the phloem cells to the various different parts of the plant that requires it. You should have a sheet going through those key points, go through, have a good read through, and the following short clip will show you how you're going to go and construct a foldable opening leaf where you can go and put the information and fully annotate on how photosynthesis is carried out in the leaf and how the leaf is adapted for it. So that will be shown in the following short video, and you should be able to go and have a go at making one. So, first thing that you'll do before making your leaf foldable is you'll end up, or you'll get a sheet that looks, you get it the right way around, that looks something like this. So it goes, and it's got all of your particular parts on that you will need to go and cut out. So you need to go cut them out. The parts where it says fold over, you are going to go. So once you've cut it out, it'll look like this. You'll get the part that says fold over, you'll fold it over backwards. Right, the next thing that you'll need to do is go and glue all of the parts down either onto a sheet of paper or into your book, depending on where you're doing it. So you'll go. Be really careful that when you're going and you're sticking stuff down, stuff lines up properly, that you're not getting too much of a overlap. Right, so when you're going and you're sticking things down, all of your parts should go and stick together relatively nicely and such forth. Right, you'll have a bit more time to go and do this than I'm spending now. Right, once all of your individual parts are stuck down, you can then go and use any information from any of your sources or any of the information that you've gathered to go and start filling it out. Right, so to go and start recording and describing what the different sections of the leaf do underneath the flaps that will now open up. Right, so once we've gone, we've stuck it down, your upper epithelium and waxy cuticle will open up like that. Right, remember your upper epithelium is there, it's nice and thin, so lots of light can get through it. Underneath that you've got your palisade layer. Right, remember your palisade layer, right, when it opens up, is made out of palisade cells. Palisade cells have lots of chloroplasts. The palisade cells have lots of chloroplasts because this is the layer where you're going to get lots of light, so we'll be able to carry out the photosynthesis. Underneath that you've got the spongy mesophyll layer. That will open up like that. You need to go and talk about gases diffusing in and out. So you need to talk about carbon dioxide diffusing up into the leaf, up into your palisade cells, and oxygen made in photosynthesis diffusing out. On the other side, you've got your xylem and phloem, so you can write a little bit about the xylem bringing water up to the palisade layer for photosynthesis, and the phloem going and carrying away the products of photosynthesis. And at the bottom, you've got the stomata with guard cells at either side. You can just go and write a little bit about just what they are. So the fact that they're the air holes that allow air in and out of the leaf.